ready, futuristic cruise with that is fashion, kill me a bit, curiosity brings me back and grooving. Don't wanna follow water, my water restore that order, crossing the border, next corner posing for reporters. Next level explorer and my crew supporters, still got what's before with my crew.
Like the shining stars, light that path whenever we run. You keep on blinking at me. You never turn away from me. In this vast gloomy night sky, light the fire up in the night. The journey that we travel for our prize. No matter where we go, we're not gonna shining forever.
That I see is not flat, more like battle rhyme. I'm more true and more over drama, going over this bananas. I just wanna have a lot of fun and let's survive in the riding or driving. No, I don't look battling, I keep it dazzling.
Welcome back to Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth. Last time we finished up exploring the third floor of You in Wonderland, and it's going to be time for the boss in this part, and lots of things are about to happen, let's just say. But first, I'll go to Party and show you that, as you probably saw in the montage, I now have everyone up to at least level 10. Shinjiro's a little higher just because I ended up overusing him a little bit. I kind of stopped recording partway through, but Yukari got Medea, and Akihiko got Death Chaser. Death Chaser is an interesting move. It basically means that, yeah, for 3 turns, it counts as a buff. Every time your rogue gets attacked, Akihiko will deliver a normal attack. Now, before we set up our team, though, for the boss fight, we're actually going to go to the Velvet Room, so I need to show my personas as well. Because I do have quite a few. So, Orobas, I leveled Orobas up a little bit, and got Gurento and Maragi, which is actually a little redundant with skills that Orpheus already has. Empusa is maxed out, Mokoi is maxed out. I had a hard time deciding what skills to replace, but I decided to get rid of Single Shot for Mudo because Mudo is great in this game. I really wanted to keep my status skills in Disarm. Angel leveled up a few times, got Rakuunda, which is going to be actually maybe kind of useful in this next fight. Garthion's the same. I leveled up Ame no Uzume, so now we have Renewal Ray and Orb of Haste, which are going to be useful for the boss fight. I'll be using this persona for my support in that one. Nata Taishi learned quite a lot of skills. Skullcracker, which is an attack that also gives a chance of Magic Bind. Tarukaja and Endure, so yeah, definitely using you for this fight. Sarasvati also learned Mabufu and Pure Memento. I found this in, I was about to say Shuffle Time, but this game doesn't have Shuffle Time, as a battle reward. You're not actually supposed to get this persona out of battle rewards until a little bit later, but I got it. It doesn't really have all that much right now, though. I might actually end up using it as fusion fodder. You're the same. I leveled you up until you learn Resist Ice. I found you, I believe, just randomly. Then I got a couple of these. I kept this pixie that I found as a persona with higher skills reward from battle because you have Prolimpa. So, I want to go to the Velvet Room and see if I can do some fusions. Gary Stu is now level 13, which gives me access to quite a few more things. Holy crap, a lot of things. Yeah, this has expanded quite a bit. We have Ippon Datara, who gives a ton of HP, although I almost feel like you're a bit too good for this point in the game. Yeah, I might actually fuse you later. And I'll get to Incubus later. Oh boy, Incubus. But anyway, we have Valkyrie. I think I already showed Valkyrie a little earlier. Alp is new. Alp has some decent status attacks, as well as learning Poison Circle. Oberon, I really like Oberon as an early game persona. Great SP and decent HP as well. So, can I make you out of anything I have? I actually kind of want to keep a Robus. A Garthion and Onmaraki, that's not bad. I can pass down Resist Fire and Hummer if I wanted to. That's actually pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Hummer and Resist Fire. It's not often that you get a persona that can inherit Resist Fire. Okay, there's Oberon. I've always been a fan of Oberon as a persona or in regular SMT Demon because I like Shakespeare. We have Chimera as well. Now, this skill right here, Snake Glare. You want this skill. You really, really, really want this skill, especially on hard mode. In fact, speaking of which, I need to switch my settings back from easy to hard, because I was on easy mode just for the purpose of grinding. But yeah, Preventing preemptive attacks. If you don't have this by the 3rd dungeon, you are going to die horribly. So, definitely gonna go ahead and get that, and hey, wow, fusing it via Ame no Uzume is excellent. Except I can't pass down all 3 skills here. Oh, I wish I could pass down more than that. If I go for Ame no Uzume plus Orobas, I was just saying that I wanted Orobas. However, I definitely would like this. Yeah, you're gonna be my new Navigator persona for a little bit. So we now have Chimera for that, which is good. Yaxini. Okay, you're actually pretty good too for the purpose of physical attacks. What can I use to make you? Sarasvati and Kus... I think it's pronounced like Kusi. Sarasvati and Sandman. Not bad, but I kind of want to keep Sarasvati. Sandman and Kusi. That's good. Though I might want to see if I can make anything better out of you. Double shot, sleeper punch. Double shot's nice. That's okay too. Let's go with Tarukaja and double shot. Actually, I kind of want to check something regarding Yaxini. Because if I'm right, Yaxini might have access to something. I was wrong, so discount that. I was thinking Yaxini had access to Shura Tensei, but it doesn't. We now have Yatagarasu. Now, this persona is actually going to be important. I might actually save who can make you. Pixie and Yaxini. Mokoi and... Nope, not getting rid of Chimera. Mokoi and Natataishi. Okay. I'm going to remind myself, although I really do like Yaxini. And Yaxini has a lot of skills that I can't really pass down. Because I definitely need this persona. I'm not going to try and pronounce it, because I'm horrible at pronouncing Chinese. But this persona is actually the subject of a side quest a little bit later on. So I'm going to leave that for a bit. And hello there, Incubus! Yep, Incubus is maybe one of the reasons why this game has an M rating in America. Yeah. Incubus is, disturbing as it is, one of the most important personas in this entire game. The main reason is... this skill right here, Impure Reach, one of the most broken skills in the game. Raises chance of inflicting ailments. So not only are ailments incredibly good in this game, but instant death counts as an ailment. That means that if you have Incubus as a sub-persona on Ken or Koromaru, even enemies that are not weak to Hamura and Mudo just die. It is insanely broken and it's amazing. So I would highly recommend fusing Incubus as soon as you have the chance. Korobaka and Yaxini, Natataishi and Pixie and Chimera, and Pusa and Sarasvati. Well, passing down Tentarafu is not a bad idea, and in fact... sadly, I like you, but actually, well, you know what? Before I do this, I should probably register personas. Okay, now we can make a persona that Garisu will be very happy to have. And Pusa and Sarasvati... Tentarafu. So, okay, here's the thing. We need to make sure that we register Empusa once it has Tentarafu. That will be really important for later in the game. I guess I'll get Scarecrow, and don't really need Pulimpa. I suppose I can get... I'll give you Disarm as well. Impure Reach doesn't affect the success rate of binds, only regular ailments. Yeah, well, that's a good line from you. Ugh. But I'm going to have to put up with Incubus because it is a very good persona in this game. Yatagarasu is pretty nice too. Angel and Yaxini. So many combos that are using Yaxini here. But yeah, I do want to save fusing Ippon Datara for later because I actually feel it's a bit too good for this boss fight. And I do need you later. Yaxini is going to be pretty expensive to get out of the compendium. I do really like that Yaxini, though. But Yatagarasu is also not bad, and Angel's not going to serve me well for much longer, although Medea is kind of nice. In fact, can I just quickly check something in my notes? Yeah, all of this stuff in my notes is not going to make any sense to any of you until midway through the 3rd dungeon. There is a reason why I'm making notes on this, though. Where are you? Okay, no, Angel, its special skill is not Medea. It's already learned its special skill. Clairvoyant. Clairvoyance is pretty nice too. Thing is, Lethargy Circle is amazing. I love that skill, and I want to get that as early as possible, so maybe I should actually fuse you. Let's see. Null Paralysis. Well, I already have Magaru. Tarukaja. Suppose I can just do Dia and Rakuunda. Don't have a lot of things with Rakuunda, actually. And now we have the Yatagarasu, the Great Thief Yatagarasu. And now I actually need to... Korapoko and Incubus. That's not particularly a good combo. I can probably afford to fuse away Natataishi after this boss fight, but I really want to use it for the boss fight. Anyway, I think that should be all for now. If I check the compendium, though, how much does it cost me to get... you would be Empress, right? Yaxini will cost almost all of my money. Maybe I'll get you out of the compendium later. But at least you are in the compendium. Yeah, I was expecting that Velvet Room session to take a little while because I had quite a few things to do. But now it's time to switch up the party. Who I'm going to be going to this boss fight with. So first I should explain a little bit about how this boss is going to work. This boss, like I alluded to earlier, has no elemental weaknesses. And it's immune or resistant to most status ailments, except for Curse and Agility Bind. Because of that, I like bringing Zen and Ray just for Bane Slice, because it's one of the few status ailments that actually works here. But just for story reasons, I like having Zen and Ray in boss fights anyway. Now, Koromaru is out because he's not that great in boss fights, except for his high speed, I guess. Not really going to use either of these two. So, this boss fight having no elemental weaknesses, you want physical attacks here, because getting a crit with physical attacks is the only way you'll get boost. On the other hand, though, it's not completely useless to have elemental attacks either, especially elemental spread moves. For that reason, I actually highly recommend having Zen learn Thunderclap before this boss fight. This attack hitting one row, it doesn't really matter what elements you have, as long as you have one element, but spread element attacks are extremely useful. We also have Fire Spray, which splashes to either side, so as long as you hit the center of a row, it's pretty much the exact same as Thunderclap. But anyway, Zen and Ray are going, mostly for story reasons, but also for Bane Slice and their elemental attacks. Yukari's not bad for healing, but let me just see. Mitsuru has Tarukaja, so that could also be useful. It's kind of a toss-up between which of the two I use. Really, if I do bring a magical party member, they're pretty much purely for supports, and I generally like them to get a sub-persona that has a magical spread move. Let's see, though. It's either Yukari or Mitsuru. Yukari, admittedly, is probably a bit better for healing, so maybe I'll use Yukari here. I can always have Tarukaja on someone else. In fact, Natataishi has Tarukaja. Next, I need a physical attacker, and for that, I usually like to use Ikus here just for gear mode, but I could also use Shinjiro. Either of them will really work here, and he could actually be pretty nice applying Teardrop. He also has Rakuunda, which is not bad. However, there's also the matter of why not both. I could bring both of them. However, I also kind of like using Akihiko with Death Counter, because Death Counter can really rack up extra damage against the boss. There is also Junpei, who's decent for this as well, but by the time he learns Death Chaser, one, Death Chaser is crazily overpriced in terms of HP for this point in the game, but two, by the time you're level 14, you're way too overleveled for this boss, in my opinion. The game expects you to be about level 12, but I prefer to go in at level 10. I think Igus and Shinjiro looks like a decent party combination for this. Okay, so now sub-personas. Igus is definitely going to be taking you. Shinjiro will take, I suppose McCoy's pretty good. Do I have anyone else who's decent physically? Well, I have Incubus for the status ailments, but I doubt they're going to be that useful in this fight. Gary still equipping Incubus would be perfectly in character, though. Okay, you've got Magaru, Dia, and Rakuunda. For that, I'm actually going to give Yatagarasu to Yukari, because I like having a magical spread move on someone. Fuka is obviously getting Chimera. Snake Glare and Hunting Prayer are going to be useless here, but Orb of Haste and Renewal Ray are both going to be very good. And meanwhile, Gary Stu, I originally wanted you to take Orobas for the Twin Slash, but doesn't seem like that's an option anymore. I could go for Oberon. Resist Fire is not bad, except this boss does use all 4 elements, so kind of regardless of who you're using, you're probably going to risk some weaknesses. I could bring Mitsuru and give her Oberon, though, to get Resist Fire, but I think I want to go for Yukari for Medea. Incubus is, well, I guess I have Toxic Slice as a potential option. This boss isn't immune to poison, but they are resistant to it. If you do get poison to stick, it's incredibly useful, though. Okay, I think this is the party that I'll be going with, so now, items. My grinding session gave me a ton of money to use here, so we're gonna go ahead and buy quite a few things. Mainly going to be prioritizing armor. I guess, yep, she's got the best armor she can equip at this point in the game. You have the best armor you can equip at this point in the game. Shinjiro can probably use one of these. Don't think I'll sell the Lion Happy. Yukari has the best armor she can get. You two have pretty good armor. That seems to be pretty solid. I think now I might actually be able to afford getting a weapon for Aigis. Though I'm not really sure how useful this will be overall. And in terms of accessories, I could buy... Waking Mirror is not going to be useful. Vigor Fob might not be a bad idea, though. I might get one of these. Not going to equip that on him, though. I may as well get a second Vigor Fob. And the rest of this money, I think I'll save for the compendium later. Or for, you know, later equipments. Right, so equipment time. You will take the plum... Actually, no, wait. I think Yukari should take the plum potpourri. Because she's going to need to keep that SP up for healing. I should actually mention, the main... I guess you'll take the Vigor Fob. This means I'm going to have to pay Elizabeth for healing again. Life Belt's probably fine, and I guess you'll also take the Vigor Fob. You take the Power Tussuki, because why not? And yeah, like I said, I'm going to have to pay Elizabeth for healing for this, because I really want to have my HP and SP fully restored. Including the extra amounts that the Plum Potpourri gives Yukari. So the main threat in this fight is running out of resources. That and the fact that we don't really have access to a lot of the game's main mechanics at this point in the game. But basically, you do need to save some SP for elemental skills at certain points in the fight. It's kind of eerie hearing no music going into the dungeon. And it's easy to run out of SP for healing if you spam status or buffs too much. That's why I prefer to save the buffs and debuffs for later in this fight, and to use my status as, like, status-inflicting physical attacks, rather than actual SP using status ailments. Anyway, it's time to go ahead and save. Actually, hang on a minute. I need to shift the battle speed back to normal and the difficulty back up to hard. I had those lower for the purposes of grinding, but anyway. Now we can head into the labyrinth and save and get ready for the boss.
Hold on, please!
Oh, don't worry. We're fully prepared. Let's go.
Please be careful. That's the strongest reading I've seen so far in this labyrinth.
The boss has shown up, huh?
More leaning on the fourth wall.
Danger! I sense danger! Oh, no, you don't! I won't let you have this!
And of course, we're in Wonderland, so our end boss is going to be the Queen of Hearts.
It speaks.
You're going to stay here forever! I'll never let you out of this world!
You know, come to think of it, I think this is the first time the Persona 3 party have encountered a shadow that talks. That's normal for the Persona 4 party, but not for these guys.
Incorrect. We will leave it.
That's right. We will leave this place. That's what we've decided.
How hilarious! How very interesting. You're going to let us out, is it? Oh, how kind of you.
From the way it talks, it seems that Shadow is keeping us in this world.
It said, I won't let you have this. Does it mean that thing behind it?
Who knows? It doesn't seem like we can reason with it. Doesn't this make you itch to test your skills?
For once, I kind of agree.
Maximum output. Here goes.
I won't let you have it! Attention Guardians! Deploy Royal Street Force!
Multiple card soldiers.
They're in our way.
So, before we start this fight, let me just mention... I love the boss approaching music in this game, it's really great. But anyway, the card soldiers here are all weak to every single element, but you don't want to go too crazy with your SP here. Let's see, this is why attacks that pierce and that hit entire rows I do like a lot. Just gonna have Shinjiro use his regular attacks here. I guess one Magaru won't hurt, and then I'll go for a Thunderclap on the front row.
I'm counting on your
As I said, you don't want to overuse your resources here. This entire boss fight is all about outlasting you and running you out of your resources.
Leave it to me.
And we only have one SP recovery item at this point in the game. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't buy any extra medicine because the heal stone is really all we need. It kind of invalidates the point of medicine.
Incoming enemy reinforcements. The enemy ranks have been reinforced.
What is this, a Fire Emblem game? Anyway, there are more of them. Like I said, you don't want to use up all of your resources here. These guys are just here to slow you down, so I prefer to just use basic attacks against them, and I will want to use Dia here as well.
Here I go.
Summoning Palladian.
Oh yeah, the wand soldiers can actually use status elements on you. They also have magic. As you can see though,
Damn it! There's no end to this!
there are endless reinforcements, so that fight ends after a few waves of reinforcements appear.
I believe we will exhaust our stamina before we can reach the queen within. They're not giving us any breathing room.
Everyone retreat. I'll do this.
But you're tired too, Zenson.
Only we could rest even a little. Unfortunately, they're making that impossible.
Yo! Sorry about the wait!
Mysterious Yuri Lowenthal?
What the?
What the? No, really, what?
We'll talk later. We've come to help.
All right, let's do this! Card soldiers incoming!
Alright, leave this to us.
A new Navigator and mysterious Johnny Young Bosch? Just who are these guys? Well, I'm sure you already know, but I'm just keeping the sense of mystery for the story. We have backup, so now it's time to fight the card soldiers once again. And, well, let's just say things are gonna go a bit easier this time. And it's mainly because of one specific party member we have here. This girl in the red dress has access to Maragi right off the bat.
Go, Jiraiya! I'm counting on you, Orpheus.
Take this. Tsunagi!
Whoa!
Here we go! Kamoe! Konohano Sakuya!
Ah, that was close!
There's more of them, but it's nothing we can't handle. Let's keep it up.
Go, Jiraiya!
This guy is extremely fast, too.
Come, Orpheus. Go, Izanagi.
Konohana Sakuya! Come on!
And it's over.
Who are they? They're strong!
Never mind that. Are they Persona users?
Reinforcements from unknown Persona users, huh? This is starting to get interesting.
Anyway, the soldiers' ranks are thinning. Now's our chance to make a charge at the Queen.
Such annoying pests. Very well. I will crush you all myself. I won't let you have this. Not even if our king demands it.
And that's the last time we'll hear Reach Out to the Truth in the game. I was staying quiet mostly because of that.
What loathsome peasants! I will not hand over my treasure. I refuse!
Those people from earlier are taking care of the card soldiers.
We can focus on the Queen at last.
So, it's time to fight the boss of this stratum, the Queen of Hearts. She has 2,500 HP, no elemental weaknesses, and her only status vulnerabilities are Curse and Agility Bind. So, this fight is basically a battle of attrition, like I was saying before. So I prefer to go for, I'll go for Scarecrow. Right, next, Igus. I like to go for physical attacks, like I said, don't really need to use Teardrop yet. My main aim with, in fact, I think I'll have Shinjiro tank with that right now. As for Yukari, she's gonna actually just defend for the first few turns of this fight. I don't need her unless I need healing, or, and you're just gonna spam Bane Slice. I don't need her unless I need healing, or unless something later on that can happen in this fight, well, happens. Also, this boss theme is great, also Incubus looks horrifying.
Take this.
Okay, nice crit there, and I got Curse, great. I like using this because, like I've said many times, it's one of the few status ailments that she doesn't resist. Okay, there's Mow Down, hits an entire row,
Perform a follow-up attack.
but with Agility Bind, its accuracy is pretty bad. Agility Bind is the only bind she doesn't resist, again, I've
That
said
is
this
a
before,
durable
but
opponent.
in case you're just watching the fight itself and not the preparations. As you can see, she's got a ton of HP. This battle is all about learning to pace yourself with your SP consumption. And that's why I prefer using physical skills, because you can easily heal the HP you use for those, other than SP, which you won't be getting back. I don't really have any other things for Zen to do, so he can just keep spamming Bane Slice.
Summoning Persona.
I could be using some Navigator buffs right now, but they cost 3 of the party gauge each. And that's quite a lot. I'd probably rather save that for an emergency heal. Okay, she's losing a bit of health. Don't really want to go for Toxic Slice, I kind of want to keep Curse on her. I guess you can use Dia on him.
Here I go.
This boss theme is called Laser Beam. I originally didn't like it very much, but it's grown on me. It's actually, I really enjoy this song now. It sounds a lot better on the official soundtrack version. The quality of a lot of the songs is kind of downgraded with the 3DS's audio.
Too easy.
But on the official soundtrack, they all sound amazing. Okay, you're still losing a bit of health. Let's just continue to pile on the pressure with mainly physical attacks. Like I said before the fight, I'm saving my buffs for later on. Gonna go for Bane Slash again to see if I can reapply the Curse status, even though Curse hasn't really done anything.
Take this.
Curse means that every time she does damage to you, she'll take damage equal to half that damage.
Persona. Rise up.
Too easy.
Okay, Pain Eater's gone.
How dare you attack me? The Queen herself yourself! What insolence! Such impudence! It's all so very vulgar of you! Unforgivable!
I confirm that the enemy's health has decreased. She has to be feeling it.
So that means that the Queen of Hearts is going to be using some new attacks soon. And there's one thing that she can do at around this point in the fight that gets a little annoying, and that's actually what I had Yukari for. I'll just continue to spam Bane Slice for Zen and Ray. The less we have to see Incubus, the better.
Here I go.
Okay, no curse.
Let's go, Io! Persona, rise up!
Pain Eater won't exactly help with her mow down attack. Yeah, this is the thing. So, she can summon additional card soldiers during the battle.
Enemy reinforcements! She's called for more soldiers!
More of these dicks.
Wow, okay then. Forgot he said that. But anyway, now the Queen of Hearts has summoned soldiers, she's in the back row, so she can only be targeted by melee attacks from the front row, or by range attacks anywhere, but she'll take less damage, so you want to kill off the soldiers. The upside of this, though, is the soldiers are still weak to every element, so you can get easy boosts off of them. This is your one time in the fight that you can get boost easily. So because of that, I'm going to go for, let's see, what should I do here? I forget if they're actually weak to Hummel or Mudo or not, but Yukari's going to go for Magaru, because this is one of the few times that that's useful. That's partly why I had Yukari here. Like I said, and this is also why I said, getting Thunderclap on Zen is extremely useful. And also, the card soldiers will use Safeguard to take attacks aimed at the Queen, so they pretty much force you to get rid of them. But the good news about that is they're an easy source of boost. Okay, the Safeguarding one is dead, but another Safeguarding one has emerged. Doesn't matter, I'm using spread moves anyway. But as you can see, spread moves are drawn by Safeguard too.
Palladian!
But now they're all dead, the Queen is vulnerable again. And now the Queen is starting to use elemental attacks, and they hit pretty hard.
The Queen's in your sights!
Good. Now stay right there.
Yeah, characters have different comments on the boss fights as well. Some of them get pretty redundant with the Navigator lines, I will admit. But I guess I can go for a free Medea. And no, not that. I didn't mean to do Thunderclap. I meant to do... Anyway. If I get severely lucky in that Poisons, which I did get severely lucky, then it's a good thing I went for Thunderclap. Wow. Yeah. I think you're about to see just how ridiculous Poison can be against this game's bosses, and I think after a few turns, I might actually intentionally try and override it with Curse, because I really don't like using Poison. Watch this. Well, firstly, that happens. Now watch this. Yeah!
Who are you? Who do you think you are? I am the Queen. The Queen! My reign is absolute!
The Queen's health is going down!
She ain't kidding around.
So yeah, Poison does ridiculous amounts of damage to bosses. It's about 10% of their max HP per turn. So... yeah, I feel it's a bit broken in cases like this, but I don't know, I guess I can keep going for Toxic Slice. I'm surprised Agility Bind hasn't worn off yet. Getting pretty lucky in this fight, I will say. But at this point, I think she does start to use a few different attacks. I'll just go for Bane Slice, because again, I don't really like using Poison against bosses, it's kind of overpowered.
Here I go.
But if you're concerned just purely with efficiency, you don't want to use other status ailments if you do manage to get Poison to stick on a boss, because Poison is insane in this game. Well, that's not going to protect you from taking poison damage. And Pain Eater's gone. Okay, let's go for some boosting again. Yeah, the Spear Soldiers, Sword Soldiers, and Staff Soldiers, and Wand Soldiers are all considered different types, so good luck getting the full enemy bios on all of them. They're pretty much exactly the same in terms of stats and weaknesses, it's just their elements that are the problem. Oh, I forgot I guess I had Fusion Blast. Can use that for boost. I guess I can see if they're weak to Hummel or Mudo. I have a feeling maybe they are, but we'll see. And again, here is where Thunderclap really comes in handy. As you can see here though, once you run out your sub-persona's pool of SP, you do have to be careful because you can very easily run out of SP for healing later in this fight. That's the main threat here. It's really all about a battle of attrition. The Queen's main strategy is to run you out of resources. And because we don't have access to many of the game-breaking strategies at this point in the game... Oh, well, that was stupid. Yeah. Obviously, this isn't gonna work.
Too easy.
But yeah, because we don't have access to any of the game-breaking strategies at this point in the game, this boss fight's a lot slower paced than the others. The others tend to go a lot more quickly. That did a decent amount, but as you can see, poison still out-damages it.
The Queen's very low on health.
Treasure?
That's kind of interesting. Remember that line for later. But anyway, oh, they only cost 2. Let's set up Orb of Haste. And now, this is about where I want to go all out with debuffs. So let's go with that. In fact, let's Orgia mode Aegis. Let's use Raku Unda. Let's Medea everyone for free. And Zen will just use Bane Slice again.
Here I go.
I'm counting on you, Orpheus.
At this point in the fight, she starts using, I think, the dance skills, which are effectively the exact same as Zen's elemental abilities. The fire one splashes, the ice one pierces, the wind one randomly hits several enemies in the same row, and the elect one hits an entire row. And yet, that's what Curse does.
Aegis is still in Orgia mode. Her attack power is at full power.
Like I said, not as effective as Poison, but it is a lot easier to get it to stick than Poison is. Let's go for that. Unfortunately, yeah, you have Tarukaja on yourself, so let's make full use of Orgia mode, Twin Slash, and you're just gonna go for an actual attack. Yukari, it's probably fine for Yukari to spam Medea at this point. She's almost gone.
Here I go.
I'm surprised that she never says off with your head at any point in this.
Orpheus.
It's really weird. You'd think that if they were able to use Alice in Wonderland and Alice in Wonderland is public domain, then you'd think the line off with their heads is public domain unless it's one of those parts that Disney owns for some reason.
Rise up.
Like, apparently you're only allowed to call the Hatter the Hatter and not the Mad Hatter if you're not Disney. Oh, great, more soldiers. Prolong this all you want. You can't
5 enemies remaining.
change the inevitable.
Relying too much on my persona.
And yeah, Shinjiro's already running to the main issue of this fight, running out of SP, but everyone else is still perfectly fine, so let's go ahead and do this. This is the problem though, Aegis is going to overheat soon, and I get the feeling that, yeah, she's not going to get a chance to hit the Queen herself because they're just going to safeguard. Now, I will say, back in when I played Persona 3, I talked about the symbolism of all of the bosses. I actually mentioned a single shot there, not Sleeper Punch, but anyway. I talked about the symbolism of the bosses, and there is definitely a lot of symbolism in this game's bosses. However, what the bosses represent at this point is massive spoilers, so I'm not going to talk about them now. I'm in fact going to do an entire video on boss symbolism later in the game. That won't come until we've learned the truth about the game's plot, though. And the Queen is down.
Don't get too worked up. The next fight's not far off.
Get a huge amount of experience out of that, too.
I have become stronger once more.
Swordbreaker would have been useful in that fight to kind of buffer her mow down attack. Yeah, I kind of made this look easy with Agility Bind, but like I said, Agility Bind and Curse are the two status ailments that you want to focus on, because they're the two that she doesn't resist. Speaking of Agility Bind, I find the name of this skill kind of silly. I read it as Nullibind. But anyway, what is Nata Taishi's quote-unquote special skill? Which again won't make sense until much later. It's Skullcracker, right. So Skullcracker is the skill that I don't want to delete here. But I can delete anything else. They're all really good though, but Null Agility Bind isn't bad either. I have other personas with Fusion Blast, I might as well get rid of that.
It seems my level has increased.
And Cyclone. When there's only a single enemy, this one's the most powerful of his elemental skills, so against things that don't resist wind that are single targets, you want to be using this most of the time. And yeah, next he'll learn Squire Card, which is that elemental buff that I was talking about. It's a passive skill that buffs all of those attacks.
Looks like you didn't really need our help.
Actually, we kinda did. If you weren't holding off those card soldiers, we'd have run out of SP long before we fought the Queen.
Who in the world are you?
We're the Wandering Persona users, the Bearillion Teddy and his delightful friends.
I love how his name tag is Person in Bear Costume. But, yeah, get used to bear puns. We're gonna be hearing them a lot from now on.
Teddy, are you a monkey named for a bear?
Isn't it obvious I'm a bear? I even said bear to emphasize it, and still you doubt me?
Admittedly, Teddy's whole costume doesn't really look all that bear-like.
Come on, that's enough of that.
The interesting thing is that Teddy went through a lot of redesigns in Persona 4 if the art book was any indication, and some of his designs looked a lot more bear-like than his final one.
Anyway, why don't we talk, may we speak about it later?
Gia has trouble with what level of politeness to use.
Senpai, why are you talking like some rich girl?
Shut up! I wasn't sure how polite I was supposed to be and it got weird. All Margaret said was they're high school students. How am I supposed to know how old they are?
So again, this makes more sense if you know Japanese. It's very important to know how old someone is relative to you when addressing them, because otherwise you might end up really offending them.
1, 2, or even 20 years difference doesn't matter, does it?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't for you, but yeah. By the looks of this, there's another Velvet Room assistant. Also, it's kind of funny because, even though these are not the original two voice actors for these characters, the one on the left is voiced by Matthew Mercer, and the one on the right is voiced by Marisha Ray, and yeah, so two characters are currently on screen whose voice actors are married.
I would say it matters quite a bit.
And also, intelligent-looking boy. Ha, 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 yeah, we'll get to that later.
Looks like they're not enemies.
Well, of course they aren't. They helped you with that fight.
It seems you understand now. I am Elizabeth and Theodore's older sister. My name is Margaret.
The funny thing, they never actually mentioned you, and there's kind of a good reason for that. So, fun fact about Margaret, she was not originally supposed to exist. I know that sounds mean, but it's kind of true. According to the Persona 4 art book, they originally planned to have Elizabeth as the Velvet Room assistant again in Persona 4, but they decided against it so as not devalue Persona 3 as a standalone storyline.
My siblings outside told me of your predicament, so I rushed to your aid. These people here who wait upon me are my servants.
We're not your servants.
So, Margaret is a lot more stoic than Elizabeth is, but she still has that trademark Velvet Room bizarre sense of humor.
It was a jest.
Look, why don't we leave the details for later and get out of here?
I did not know Yosuke dyed his hair until I saw this name tag.
Before we do, there's something over there.
Yeah, that thing the Queen was so adamant on protecting.
It's, box.
I speculate that the shadow we just defeated was protecting this box.
Really? What gave you that impression?
You're opening it?
Yes.
Does that mean anything to anyone?
Nico, I wonder what it means. It must be saying to smile. Oh, like the slang for someone smiling? I don't know.
So yeah, they had to explain this because Nico does mean smile in Japanese.
Is this rabbit the same one we saw in the maze upstairs? It's not the same color, though.
It's not, but perhaps they are related.
It's like we ended up here by chasing after it. Hey, Zen, Ray, do you know anything about this rabbit?
Nope.
I see.
I feel like I've seen this somewhere.
Zen was mentioning that when we were chasing the rabbit through the labyrinth.
Zen?
4. There are 4 labyrinths here. Something is hidden in each one, and guardians are protecting them.
So I guess we got a pretty typical video game plot on our hands. 4 dungeons, we have to find 4 dungeon items.
There was something I had to do here. A task. I had a task to accomplish, but I lost my memory.
And a bit of insight into Zen's character. He's remembering a little bit.
Do you remember now?
It's no use. That's all I can remember.
That is still progress. Could these guardians be similar to that Queen Shadow?
I have a feeling that Queen Shadow was one of them, so we've got 3 left.
Yes, that's right. Powerful shadows like it are protecting something.
Could this stuffed animal have triggered your regained memories?
I think so. When I touched it, the memory surfaced. Like a crack formed in something. What about you, Ray? Do you remember anything?
I said I don't know.
I see. Then I will hold on to this stuffed animal.
Thing is, though, Ray's reaction, she seems... There's something painful about all this for her. That's all we have to go on for now.
That Queen Shadow said that it won't let us out of here. For the time being, we can think of it this way. An unknown party is intentionally keeping us trapped in this world. The clues to our escape may lie within Zen and Ray's memories, since they were here before us. But to unlock them, we will need what the guardians of the other 3 labyrinths are protecting.
Yes, that unknown party must have hidden my memories within the labyrinths. But Ray's memories aren't returning. Where are her memories hidden?
It's that bell again.
We heard the bell too.
Is there some significance to it?
Sounds like it stopped.
Everyone listen! A lock on the doors in the Velvet Room is about to come off.
What's interesting is I think this implies that the navigators stay in the Velvet Room to give support while everyone is off doing the dungeon exploration.
What? Yamagishi, explain.
Remember how there were 2 doors in the Velvet Room with 4 locks on them?
4 locks, 4 labyrinths, 4 guardians. That makes sense.
One of the locks looks as if it's about to come off. Elizabeth says that the doors connect to someplace else.
Which must mean they're an exit?
Then, is it just as Zen said?
I don't know, but please come back when you can.
4 labyrinths and 4 locks. Do you think this is a coincidence?
No, it fits with the deduction you made. If we go through the labyrinths and retrieve what the Guardians are protecting, the locks will come off. I don't know how Zen's memories are tied to that, but if it gets them back, all the more reason to do this. If whoever trapped us here doesn't like our little labyrinth tour, they might show up to stop us. All we have to do then is strike them down. Nice and simple.
For once, I feel like Akihiko is making sense.
What is it?
You actually said something normal for once.
I'm always normal.
Are you now? All right, then let's head back. It's dangerous to spend too much time in here.
We'll go on ahead. Let's discuss this more later.
So, we actually can mark this as a treasure chest, and it does count as opened.
My head feels all dizzy.
We can explore the room too if we want, but there's no real point. These areas don't have map completion chests after all, but I kind of like to do so for completeness purposes. So, when we head back, a lot of things are going to start happening all at once, so I'm going to go ahead and save right now.